Thank you. Sincere thanks for tuning in. Good morning. Let's have ourselves a productive and tremendous day today, the 19th of August 2025. It's a Tuesday, and we are mere days before our Independence Day celebrations. Obviously, if we were to go based on the Prime Minister's advice, she says, listen, it's not to say the place on a lockdown, you know, people could go out and celebrate, but it's just the parade itself, the traditional parade that coming together, families and the young ones lining Tragrit Road, watching the soldiers do the left, right, you understand? That's not going to happen. And it continues to rage on. That's a massive debate. Lots of different strong opinions on that very, I would say that was a big decision. I'm sure when they had that particular suggestion in that particular meeting, can't believe everybody would have been on the same page, but I guess, you know, the majority rules, and if that's the mandate of the Prime Minister, or at least those in the Security Council with the said information, are we going to get to that particular development very soon? Because it all ties back to the fact that we are in a SOE and there are particular threats towards certain leading figures within the government. And that's what we're going to jump into this morning via The Guardian. So the Prime Minister says, hungry gangs. Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, links alleged death threats against Defense Minister to CPEP URP clampdown. And she says the gangs are now starved for public funds. Even the Minister of Defense, no, a matter of fact, the Minister of Justice, Minister Maharaj, was weighing in. They went to do a tour by Besso Street yesterday by the police station. I'm seeing Homeland Security Minister, Minister Alexander, also on the front page here. But don't take it from me. Let's go back to some of the developments from last evening's news so you can get the full picture. And then later on, we open up the lines and discuss this in detail. Let's take you back to that particular story. This is a hot one, and it continues to rage on, the argument concerning that most, I would say, drastic decision to cancel our Independence Day parade. Let's go back to some of the developments from last evening's news.
All of us are very concerned. He's our colleague and a minister, but there's only so much we can say at this point in time.
Mr. Sturge would have consulted with the relevant agencies. And once a threat comes forward, or information about a threat coming forward, what normally happens is that you will also brief your family accordingly. So I know that was done. The security arrangement, I would want to discuss that too much. However, we are doing everything that we can to ensure the safety of Mr. Sturge and his family.
So again, hearing there from the ministers who are featured on the front page of The Guardian this morning, Minister of Justice, Minister Maharaj, and Minister of Homeland Security, Minister Alexander, who composed the shot there with Minister Alexander. That camera was kind of up in the man's face. You saw that face off? Was that just me? I found the composition of that shot was a bit left much to be desired, but nonetheless, we give thanks for the commentary and the fact that people are weighing in. Now, let's head across to, I believe the opposition leader would have also okay, yes, we'll hold a strain on that one. I've been advised that we go to the Prime Minister first, who would have recommended. That's where the development is. Yes, I'm going back to what I saw in the news last evening. So the opposition leader would have been very critical, obviously, of this particular move. Even the former Minister of Culture, the Arts, Randall Mitchell, was weighing in. Lots of different people weighing in. But the Prime Minister says, listen, you want to have a parade, go ahead and host your own parade. Not my words, her words. Let's hear from the Prime Minister concerning developments. Again, no parade for 2025, and some more commentary, some more perspective. Not, I would say, probably what people want to hear, but again, it's all part of the news cycle. And let's take in that flavor.
Since last Friday's announcement about the cancellation of the military parade, There's been a chorus of concern from the PNM asking not only for a scaled-down event for patriotic and economic reasons, but for the Prime Minister to also address the nation on this issue, to offer clarity and to dispel any confusion on why this was seen as a necessary measure. Well, Guardian Media put those concerns to the Prime Minister, who said if the PNM so badly wants a parade, then it can put on its own. She even went as far as to say this media house can join them. The Prime Minister said that Guardian Media and the opposition leader are free to go to Port of Spain on Independence Day and walk around if we'd like. She said there are no restrictions on free movement. Meanwhile, at the opposition leader's media briefing, Penelope Beckles argued that if in fact there's a threat to national security at this time, then now is the perfect opportunity for the country to flex its muscles.
This government should make every attempt to let the criminals, the gangsters, and all of those who are involved in criminal activity, the government should make an extra effort to let them know that the government is not afraid of the criminals and the gangsters.
But now the PNM is also demanding an apology from the Finance Minister for what it described as his asinine comments on TikTok as it relates to the party insisting there be a parade.
Why is the PNM so anxious to have all of these individuals in one place? Who exactly is the PNM trying to facilitate? The criminals?
The PNM fired back today and said the inference is deeply upsetting.
I want to say it is reckless, I want to say it is deliberately dishonest, and I want to say it's deplorable. And we are calling on Mr. Tanku to retract those statements because it is totally false.
Meanwhile, Colmimbert advised Tanku to focus on other matters such as an alleged late payment to staff at MTS and the regional corporations. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
I want to thank Akash for that story, and I agree with Akash there. At the top of that particular story, he spoke towards clarity, more clarity from the government as it pertains to this decision. Yes, I know it's extreme times, and obviously they will have information that we will not be privy to, hence the reason they would have made this decision. But again, this is Independence Day celebration and parade, part of the tradition that is Trinidad and Tobago. And every Independence Day, as far as I'm concerned, it's one to celebrate regardless of the circumstance. This is where we, as a nation, we feel inspired. There is that sense of patriotism. And, I'm a law-abiding citizen. Of course, you could quarrel from now till thy kingdom come. The decision is already made, and in that regard, you listen to the government and you're guided accordingly. But we have an opinion. I have an opinion on it, and I think it's rather unfortunate. And again, truth be told, this particular government, and again, not knocking the government per se, but I'm just speaking facts. These are factual statements, and folks, we can have that healthy discussion as per usual after 7. I call it as I see it. When there's a moment and there is a policy to celebrate, I support it. And if they have erred, I will give my opinion, because no one is always correct and no government is beyond rebuke or beyond some kind of you can't talk. Come on, let's be real. Nowhere in the world, nobody's perfect. This particular administration, I recall, when independence parades would have happened last year before. A matter of fact, for the last probably 9 years, when PNM was at the helm, I cannot recall anyone. I cannot recall anyone from the current administration who are now behind the wheel going to the parade. If somebody went there and you saw them, please let me know. But I cannot recall the Prime Minister going as opposition leader to the parade. This parade that we're looking on screen is for government. And what does government encompass? The folks who are by the wheel, right, making the decisions. Even the opposition, they all make up the government, independent senators. This is a government affair. This is a Trinidad and Tobago affair. This is beyond the politics. Or for one day we can put aside the political divide and the different lines drawn. I mean, I'm trying to figure out who are the real patriots in this place. This is our little piece of paradise, Trinidad and Tobago. Look at the army. They say, no, I mean, come on. We have seen parades all over the world, North Korea, China, you name it, big parade. We have a little small thing going on here and people look forward to this and it's not happening. Because again, the circumstance and the moment and the time. It's It's unfortunate. But again, I'm one that, I'm guided by the decisions of those who are at the wheel. They will know more than I would ever know. And, I have to, you got to pat down. But honestly, there is a sense of disappointment. I look forward to the parade. It's one where you go to the family and you enjoy it. And especially, the fire truck, when they reach Tragrit Road and they play the Iowa George song, Water, and the people jump up with the little, oh my gosh. Well, probably next year, folks, 2026. Let's move to the back page. Some much better news to report this morning. The Gans leaping into a bronze, standing there at the Pan Am Junior Games. Well done to Janae De Gans, claim bronze for TNT in the girls' long jump event at the Junior Pan American Games there in Paraguay. So that's one to keep our eyes on. And our young sprinter, Shaniqua Bascom, she is in the 100 meters final. She delivered a 11.17 second performance, earning herself a spot in the girls' 100-meter event. So our youngsters making us proud, and this is development and continuity as we prepare for, obviously, the Olympic Games at Los Angeles. That's coming up in, 2 years? No, 3. World Cup next year, 2026, 2028, will be the Olympics. So if they stay on this particular momentum, they'll be the future. I remember the last couple of games, it was salt. We went out there and we come back with a bag of salt. So we're looking forward to be in the medals conversation when it comes to the next big Olympic Games. Let's move here to the brief on this Tuesday morning. Again, no parade. Regional corporations turn to pan, prayer, and candlelight. Well, listen, I mean, when the going gets tough, prayer is always a good option. Of course, pan, that's our national instrument. The pan on the avenue will still happen here in Port of Spain. And well, no fireworks, so we say, bring out the candlelight. And as we go to the break, we congratulate the young ladies stepping forward for the Miss World Trinidad and Tobago 2025. They had the unveiling on Sunday at Bricks. I'm watching, well, they didn't put names, but plenty girls here, boy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. About 19 girls here now. Yeah, our best and finest. All the best. It's 20 girls? Wow, 20. That's amazing. Glad that girls still stepping up. And let me tell you, yes, there's an ultimate winner, but even those who do not probably get the title, the kind of training, the kind of exposure, it augurs well for these young ladies as they go into their career and they go into life. And we wish them the very best, and hopefully we'll get some of the contestants, if not all, on the program leading up to the Miss World pageant being held later on this year. We take the pause, we come back, we discuss the cancellation of the parade, the political impact. That discussion, I would say it's a very important one, and we continue with that vibrant debate here on the program. Political scientist Dr. Indira Rampasad joins me to unpack and go through the layers of this cancellation. See you soon.
There's a new Cricks back with colors that pop. Yeah, say colors that pop. Same great Cricks that's in all your shops. All your shops. Fresh new look, delicious to see. It looks so good, it's delicious to see. With toppers on top of time, I'm real hungry.
Yeah, boy, real hungry.
Cricks, new pack is a hit. Best food, yeah, so don't stick. Ready for the short thing to fix your mix? Just reach for the new pack. Reach for your Cricks. Get your Cricks today. New look, same vital supplies.
Big ambition starts with clear vision. This back to learning season, Rera Optical has eyewear packages for every learner. For kids 15 years and under, get a free frame with lenses starting at just $495. Scholars, it's time to level up your look with frame plus lenses from $750. Lifelong learners, purchase any frame $1,099 plus and unlock up to 30% off premium lenses like Eisen, Varilux, and Transitions in 8 bold colors. And don't miss your chance to win a $1,500 learning supply voucher or transition lenses when you purchase any eyewear package. Ferrera Optical, big ambition, clear vision. Visit us in store today. This promotion is NOCB approved.
Political scientist Dr. Indira Rampasad joins me on the Zoom line. We got Dr. Rampasad up early this morning. My goodness, I know this is probably nap time, but I want to thank you for the effort and for being here with me on the Zoom line. Welcome.
Most welcome, most welcome. Only for you, JW.
Thank you so much. I'm seeing you wearing your red. We all prepared. I mean, listen, no parade, but you know, the celebration will continue regardless. I want to get into that discussion, the political impact of it, and more so, my observation. I made that comment just now in my opening monologue. I go back to just memory here, and I guess if I'm wrong in any regard, yourself or anyone can correct me, but I recall when Mrs. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar was opposition leader, she never attended the parade.
I wouldn't recall who attended because, JW, I have to tell you, I have never looked at the parade and I have never attended the parade myself.
Well, I'm telling you, based on my observation, based on being there, there was no show from herself and many of her opposition members at the time. So, again, I beg to ask the question, who makes up the government? I'm thinking here, yes, regardless of who's at the wheel, I would hope that the Independence Parade, we could put aside political differences and you could see opposition and independent senators and different key players there to give us support to Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment and all those folks from the defensive, well, the defense ecosystem, as it were. What's your take on that? Because, I recall she not being there.
But I'm not sure that non-attendance is an expression of lack of patriotism, JW. A lot of people do not attend the parade.
But you see, we're talking here government officials, you know.
I'm aware of that, and keep in mind the people are part of the government and it's open to the people as well. Okay, it's open to the public. And I can tell you, you know, it's not something that draws the attention of the public generally. As far as I can remember, there is a small group of people that would attend, people who live in and around Port of Spain and the environs. But you can see droves of people from Chiguano, Sarimo, Rio Claro, Faisabado, you know, even PNM constituencies, traditionally I said, Point Fortin, you know, heading to Port of Spain on parade day. But that aside, I don't think the reason is because they are unpatriotic, or I think we are twisting the dialogue somewhat, the narrative. They proffered two reasons, and I think these are two solid reasons. Now there's some evidence surfacing of threat to government ministers' lives. That is one. And the other one is the cost. And this is the one that I am more in favor of, the cost of these events and whether they're really worth it. So they said about $2.5 million. JW, am I correct in quoting that figure?
Yeah, there was, in the millions. But again, I just for the sake of the debate here this morning, I look at a cost factor when it pertains to the visit of any foreign dignitary. You know, they had, you know, we have galas all the time. I mean, I'm thinking this is a parade that's able to inspire a generation, young people line Tragrete Road, the army, you know, they get a chance to display their skill. It's just part of what makes us Trinidad and Tobago. It's part of the fabric.
Does it inspire a generation? I don't know how many young people are interested in these things.
Well, I see, because remember you said you don't go to the parade. I think if a year you really take a time and go to Tragrete Road, you'll see for yourself the amount of people who are there. And I'm thinking young people seeing folks in uniform, any part of the world, there is a particular appeal. Now, whether that translates into them going into the service after, I don't know. But it always generates a kind of excitement, and I guess.
But you see, and whether that is patriotism, this is my issue. You know, it's something to look at. If you say they go, the young people go. If it is something to look at, it is something to attend on a public holiday. But there's also a massive display of guns, JW, legal guns, of course. We should be having a crackdown on guns, as far as I'm concerned. And I tell you what, one of the reasons I don't look at it is I don't like to look at guns. Right? I know it's legal guns, it's part of the display, it's part of the parade, it's part of the tradition, it's part of the history.
Well, you know, interestingly, the opposition leader, she said that this would have been the perfect opportunity to display even bigger guns. Well, she didn't go into those exact words, I'm paraphrasing. She says it was a moment to show strength to the criminal elements and remind them who is in charge. Do you accept that argument?
Well, if they've been doing it for years and it didn't work, JW, how many decades they've been doing the parade and showing the guns, and criminal elements are still running rampant, okay? And currently I think there's an effort to crack down, particularly in the guns, because my take has always been, and I have studied this issue of crime in Trinidad and Tobago, published on it, is that you have to get to the root of the problem, and you have to get to the source of the problem. There are two main causes of crime in Trinidad. We're not talking about the home invasion and the domestic violence, and that is drugs and guns. So the drug trade fuel, the fuel and arms and ammunition, and once you can curb the influx of guns into the country, and this is a different debate altogether, though, then I think that we might be on the way to alleviating, might not be totally resolved, but at least alleviating the crime problem. And we are seeing very lately, I read up to last night, some crackdown, 28,000 rounds of ammunition stolen in the military. That's one. Another one with some Trinidadians and a Venezuelan coming in with guns, coming in with a whole boatload of ammunition from Venezuela, I believe.
Yeah, spot on there. I will even add also lack of equity, because we look at places in the world where there is greater equity and there is less crime, because there is no need to have to go through that evil means to get a meal on the table. I want to ask you, though, as it pertains to this particular decision, and again, based on information, they'll have information and they're going on intelligence, and as I said this morning, I respect the decision of the government. I might not agree with it, I might be a bit disappointed personally, but I have to go with what they're saying based on what they know. Could this come back? Could this come back and haunt them? Could this be used as a political dagger, probably 5 years from now in the political election cycle? The fact that, hey, back in 2025 they canceled the parade, look at them, could this be used?
Hardly. Okay. I would hardly think so. I think there is a priority of issues that have to be addressed. And that would include, I think, number one, a neck to neck. There's crime and the economy. I don't know which is number one and which is number two. They are equally important. I think there is also the government is cash strapped. They inherited an economy in shambles, and they're desperately trying to make ends meet. And we know this, JW, because one of their campaign promises was to settle trade union negotiations. We know that, and starting at 10%. And that has not been concretized as yet. So they're still trying to amass the funds to pay that. My union, we got to be settled. As you know, we were marching hell hard for a long time. We eventually settled. We got the increase. The increase was paid in March, started to be paid in March, and then the back pay, we are still waiting. Suggesting to me that if they made a campaign promise, if Labour is part of the arrangement, coalition of interests, we have trade union leaders or former trade union leaders as ministers of government. And they are active, they are a robust part of the government itself. And therefore, the government has to appease that constituency, which facilitated them into power. And I believe it did very, very strongly. Labour had a big role to play, because every other person in the country is a worker, and therefore they have a vote if they're over 18. I think that they contributed significantly to the UNC's victory on April 28th. And they have to focus on the economy. And I think they see the economic dimension of it, $2.5 million on a parade at this point, that can be diverted elsewhere, can be better spent. So that is one rationale. And JW, while there are persons like yourself who would be disappointed, we have to realize, and I'm looking at the polls and I'm looking at the people say in your channel, 7 o'clock news, that, there's many people who disagree, who doesn't see the need for it. It's a debate like the role of the president. That's a debate that comes along every time you have to elect a president.
So my question is for those who, again, and I go back to the whole concept of patriotism, how do we express our patriotism as Trinbagonians? I wouldn't even go into the culture realm, because of religious, reasons, there are folks who do not take part in our cultural festivities, so I respect that. And I'm a culture man. I'm thinking, okay, it could be cricket, CPL, yes, it's CPL and Trinbago Night Riders, but it's not a Trinidad and Tobago team. We have players from all over. Probably football, sports, football, and that's coming up in September, our World Cup qualifier, and more so, independence. I think Independence Day, whether it's the celebrations and the activities at Shaw Park, Skinner Park in the savannah in Port of Spain, people get a chance to put on their red and just, you flex your muscles. Every country, Jamaica just had their independence celebrations on the 6th. I do think Jamaicans will accept, or they will just sit easy if Mr. Holness was to say, well, okay, we're going to cancel independence celebrations. I just sometimes wonder, where are the voices and where do we get a chance to express ourselves as Trinbagonians collectively, putting aside all political differences?
Well, you just identified it. So Carnival, I think, is in itself an expression of patriotism.
But again, Jehovah's Witnesses don't play, Seventh-day Adventists don't play, Muslim people don't play Carnival. That's why I said there are religious implications inside there where not every Trinbagonian is born wearing a costume.
But if this is held on a Saturday, the parade, let's just say it's held on a Saturday, it's Independence Day, do you think the Seventh-day Adventists would participate?
No, probably not. Probably not.
They wouldn't participate either. So you see, so I don't think it's not an expression of patriotism, JW. That is the part I'm not getting. I don't think so. I think there are some other concerns surrounding this one. I don't know if next year it will follow. If they think that the savings issue, the cost-saving measure, because if it's a cost-saving measure, then it would follow that in other years.
So, but let me ask you, what is more important, inviting a foreign national, a foreign dignitary, because that comes with a cost, whether it's Prime Minister Modi or whether it's President Trump. Let's say we invite Trump, that's going to cost that's going to be a big bill. And yet still we will see the importance in that, but how we don't see the importance in a national tradition. That's the part that because I don't understand the economic argument there, honestly.
Well, I don't think it's a question of importance. There's also, remember, the national security issue. Okay, so foreign national, Modi, it's not every foreign national you're going to invite. You're going to invite foreign nationals that have some significance. Some benefits could come out of it. And we saw that a lot of items were donated to Trinidad and Tobago post that visit. We also had visitors from Ghana. Mm-hmm. So those also have, what should we say, symbolic significance in terms of the diaspora, ethnicity, cultural factors. Now, JW, I am not discounting the significance of the parade. I am just trying to explain that I don't think it is fatal, politically fatal for one. The government is just, 4 months in? They have a lot of time to build political capital, so to speak, political clout, and that matters most in elections. Mm-hmm. What is next coming is a local government election. Do you really think that this issue? I don't. I really don't think that the cancelling of the parade is going to significantly impact the outcome of the local government issue. The opposition may play it in the platform. I don't know. We don't know how that campaign is going to play out. As yet, the date has not been called for local government election as yet. When is it? Next year? Yeah. JW, we also have a 90 wonder. In this country. So this is generating debate, but I don't know, I am not sure to what extent the population is so engaged. I believe there are other issues concerning the population right now. One is money. It's issues concerning the government, but it's also issues concerning the population. People want to get monies that were owed to them. People want to get some of the benefits. People want to be safe. Mm-hmm. We've still had some home invasions, and that is not going to just disappear overnight. We have had some very heinous crimes being committed, even in recent times, despite the state of emergency. And I think these are the issues that are foremost in the people's mind, the jobs for the youths, GW. You say there are a lot of young people going to the parade, but as a young person, let's put ourselves in the place of a young person who is jobless, right? And I think that is where you might find allegiance to country coming in more. That this is my country, this is the country that I was born in, this is the country that I serve, but this is the country that cannot provide a job for me. I think those critical issues that are bringing bread on the table are the issues that we have to focus on now, and those are the issues that would be, I would say, as a political scientist now, on the topmost agenda of any government.
Indeed. Well, Dr. Rampersad, as always, I always appreciate your perspective. Thanks for unpacking some of the layers. We had a nice, vibrant debate this morning because, I mean, normally, you know, I normally sit back. It's just something I feel I get a bit, I guess, passionate about, but I understand also where you're coming from. I respect where you're coming from, and I guess let's see as we continue with our conversations within the political space and what happens with all the different movements that take place in that ecosystem. As you rightfully said, if this could be a 9-day wonder or if this will come up somewhere down the road. I guess time will tell. But all the best as always, and we will touch base soon.
Thank you for having me and for agreeing to disagree.
Yes, of course. All the best.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Indira Rampersad, of course, political scientist, always great to have on the program, just unpack the different layers. So we're going to come back after the pause, another one of our regular contributors. He's going to join me, Professor Roger Hussein. We are dealing with the economy and the recent decision for this credit card limit, I think $2,500 US per cycle. And of course, we talk credit unions, credit card limits, and the impact on customers and just the economy in a whole. Professor Roger Hussein, he's up next.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order.
Wait, you thought Christmas in July was over? Think again. Bright Ideas is slaying it till September. The deals you love are still here. Kitchen must-haves, home decor, and back-to-school steals. Plus the best prices on stationery. Get 12 copybooks for just $12.99. Copyright paper only $29.99. And 6 notebooks for $18.99. Plus so much more. Shop in-store or online at brightideashomestore.com. But hurry, these deals melt away September 9th.
There's a powerful switch inside your body, AMPK. It tells your system to burn fat, balance blood sugar, and boost energy. Berberine Plus activates AMPK naturally, supporting metabolism, weight management, and healthy insulin function. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powered by AMPK, perfected by nature.
Let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
New Superstay Teddy Tint from Maybelline, New York. Blurred mattes, no transfer. Up to 12-hour wear and a plush feel. New Superstay Teddy Tint, Maybelline, New York.
Well, one of our regular contributors when we're dealing with matters concerning the economy. We are guided by Professor Roger Hussein. He joins me on the Zoom line. Professor, great to see you as always, and thank you for the time.
Good morning, and thank you for the invitation.
Before we get into the credit card development, just a perspective. I know lots of people are saying, well, okay, the cancellation of the parade comes with a cost factor, and because there is no parade, we could now put the money that would have been used for that into the coffers to do other work within, I guess, the governance of Trinidad and Tobago. What's your take on the economic side of the cancellation?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, when I look at the difference between reserves and external debt being about a minus $1 billion US, that to me sounds all kind of warning bells. So I have no issues with the fact that the government is trying to save. I think I heard 26 million. I'm not sure.
Oh, no. I think it was 2.5. I don't think, 2.5.
Okay. I have no issue with saving some money. wherever we can. What I don't want to see is that same money spent badly somewhere else. So if we are saving money, let's save money and let's do it across the board. But for me, the substantive problems in the economies are so much deeper that we need to be focused. And so I have it caused me no pain when it was cancelled on economic grounds. I think we have much bigger issues to focus on.
Indeed. Well, we're looking now at the main issue here, and it pertains again to U.S. Now with the credit card limit. The saying per cycle, is this $2,500 limit based on, that's all they could use in a month or something? That's basically what they're saying in essence, layman's terms?
Well, as far as I understand, a cycle is a month, and you cannot cross 2,500. After 2,500, if you need US, you have to find it by some other means. So
how will a businessman, the young entrepreneur, survive? Because, I mean, you're getting in goods, it will be way more than 2,500 US.
You know, I think 2,500 is still generous right now. When you look at the situation, one wonders where the difference between reserves and external debt would reach before Manatee comes on stream in 2027. And that's what everybody is playing for 2027. Now, to specifically answer your question, they would, one, have to improvise and try to cut costs by import substitution, try to see if instead of using, for example, Zabuka coming from Dominica or cherries coming from the USA, that we could use some alternative commodity from Trinidad and Tobago that could get the job similarly done. So improvise and substitute. Two, they would have to see, where possible, if they could earn some export revenues. Now, that would apply to all, but the OECS countries, the Dutch Caribbean, the southern CARICOM countries are doing reasonably well. And these business people would have to ask themselves, is there a skill or a commodity I could sell to these countries to help earn some of the US that I need? But it's a difficult situation all around. Let's not deny that. And the business people are going to find it, especially those that import for distribute, find it much more difficult to subsist. And the situation is not going to improve immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a cut in half. I mean, it's taken effect. It's going to take effect August 21st. And it's, $2,500 per billing cycle per month. And I guess we also have to consider the reserves. What's the latest information in that regard, our foreign reserves? Are we looking in that department?
It has toppled even more. It has gone down to 4.8 billion. I checked it last night, and that's a really low number. Some people, when you say that the reserves are 4.8 billion, they come out and say that, well, we have 7 billion or 6.9 billion in import cover. That's nonsense, in the sense that, in my understanding of the facts, the reserves are propped up by borrowing, by external debt borrowing, so that we make the reserves look slightly elevated on the one hand, and now external debt is more than the reserves. What kind of economics is that, or was that? And so now we are struggling in terms of all of these things. Now, some of these changes should have perhaps come a lot, like 2, 3, 5 years ago. I see the graph you have up is one with net reserves on the horizontal axis and the total number of credit cards in use on the vertical axis. Now, if you watch as the stock of reserves on the horizontal axis decrease, in other words, as you move closer to the origin, you see the total number of credit cards in use increase. And I'm not surprised at all, because what Trinidad and Tobago business people and citizens did is, when they realized that they were getting a cap from some of the banks with one credit card, they simply got 2 and 3 credit cards, and therefore the amount of credit cards in use increased, and the problem remained. The depletion of the stock of reserves remained because of, in my view, weak policy monitoring.
Yeah, and again, you know, what you're saying is spot on, because, okay, you give me a limit now at $2,500. I'll get 4 credit cards, which will take me back to what I was paying back in 2023, when the limit would have been 10,000 US. Then it went from 10,000 to 5,000. Now it's at 2,500. So it's a decrease. And people finding ways and loopholes. You know, we have come to the point where people who buying US, some of these businesses, if you have US to sell, it used to be $7. Now it's $7.50, and some people actually put up a sign mark $8 for one US. You know, that is what people are willing to pay for US so they could get stock.
You saw a sign somewhere?
Yeah, people have signs up in business and supermarket. Let me do salary people and them, because I don't know if that is legal. You know, it might be illegal. I don't know if it's legal or illegal. Probably it is, but there are businesses that have signs up buying US, and they put up the amount $7.50, and in some places $8.
You know,
right in tongue here, Professor, right in Port of Spain. Normal, they turn a sign right in, by the cashier.
About it is to say, is that the policymakers knew that gas production was decreasing. They knew that oil production was decreasing. They knew that Manatee will not come on stream until sometime in 2027, let's call it mid-2027. So they knew that reserves were going down. They knew that there was no immediate bailout. And some of the actions that we are seeing now should have been taken 7 years ago, 5 years ago. And that's only on the managing of the shrinking pool. What really disturbed me is the slow reaction on the supply side, because whilst we are trying our best to manage the shrinking pool of Forex, what we need is an enhanced inflow of foreign exchange from other sources. So I keep asking, why are we not controlling this border level and home invasions in a manner and form that could help enhance tourism inflows? We have one of the slowest uptake in tourism inflows since 2019 in the entire Caribbean area. That's easy foreign exchange. Why are we not attracting more cruise ships into our country? That's easy dispersable foreign exchange. Why are we not targeting remittances in a manner and form parallel to other Caribbean countries? Because it enhances the inflow of foreign exchange. Why are we not trying to identify the opportunities in the Dutch Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean, the Southern Caribbean, and other parts of Latin America that are low-hanging fruits in the context of our productive capabilities that can enhance our non-energy exports? And we have been trying to get this type of work out into the public domain, and it's just difficult. And so too much effort is being spent on managing a limited stock of foreign exchange rather than enhancing the stock of foreign exchange. And so I think with this credit card cap, I hope that alongside it comes a number of supply-side measures that would encourage the inflow of foreign exchange within the next 18 months.
You think that will be a major consideration, knowing that the budget, and this will be the new government's, new administration's first budget, that's coming up literally in a couple of weeks. I guess we will be able to know, based on policy decisions and what's said by Finance Minister Tanku, what direction we're heading. And if, of course, you can lend him, I know you mentioned diversification, low-hanging fruits, but if we could tap into something right now that could really get the wheels turning, what advice you'll give the Minister of Finance?
Well, I would tell them to go strongly. I would tell them to go strongly after tourism, because it's an easy win. We have a very beautiful country. Tobago is very beautiful. But to go after tourism, the Minister of National Security have a critical role to play. And, you know, it's good to see the new Commissioner of Police in action. He seems like a no-nonsense person. And we need to continue along that line. We need to control crime so the tourists will continue to come and will come in greater volume. So I think in the budget, I am hoping to see substantive focus on how to generate more foreign exchange from a tourism perspective, from a remittances perspective, from a foreign direct investment perspective, from an import substitution and hence saving perspective, and from a non-energy export drive, working with the manufacturing sector that helps to target some of these well-to-do neighbors that we have so that we can increase our inflow of forex. We have no choice.
Yeah. What about the geopolitical issues around us? Because granted, yes, tourism is a good direction, and as you rightfully said, the island is very attractive, but what if our neighbors up north in America can't even afford? Because I'm watching even, they are struggling to get over the line, and our friends even far removed across the pond in Europe. How do we, again, create this particular momentum, considering the geopolitical and geo-economic issues that are currently impacting the world.
Yeah, I don't see that as a big problem. I mean, yes, Trump is implementing some tariff and there are some changes in the world, but the US, they may be slowing down a bit, but at a high level of income. They have a high level of per capita GDP. Canada has a high level of per capita GDP. The European countries, they have a high level of per capita GDP. And then there are pockets of people throughout Guyana, Brazil, Argentina, other parts of the world that they have very good purchasing power capability, and hence these net worth individuals have high. These high net worth individuals have good traveling capacity. So I don't see that as a major problem. In places like Curaçao, for example, they are about 800,000 overnight visitors now in St. Martin, about 500,000 in Aruba. It's over 1 million per annum. And these are tiny, tiny little economies. We could do much better, but we have to have the drive. And there is nothing like a good stagnation of the economy and a decline in your main comparative advantage good, natural gas and oil, to get you going on generating forex from other sectors. So I would say we have a golden moment in Trinidad and Tobago in the sense that our energy resources are not giving us the foreign exchange we want to maintain our standard of living. So this golden moment allows us, one, to recalibrate our consumption habit and improve our import substituting capability, and two, to enhance our drive to go after forex from non-energy means. I think policymakers have to latch on to that. We don't have a choice. We are in a time to choose moment.
Interesting you said that, and I want to thank you for the perspective. Interesting you mentioned some of the numbers. I was in Bahamas for Canto in July, a conference, and one of the officials there from the tourism board was telling me they had 7 million visitors already for the year in Bahamas. Again, proximity to the US, the infrastructures there, and they're actually going to surpass last year's arrivals, which would have been 12 million. They anticipate it might be another 7, which will take them to 14 million tourists passing through in 1 year on one island. That's amazing. Anyway, Professor, always a pleasure. Thank you for touching base. Let's keep in touch, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to connect again soon.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation. Have a good morning.
Same to you, Professor Roger Hussein. We take the pause, we come back. I believe we'll get into our health tip. We head across to the 7 a.m. news update, and then we open up the lines. We continue with this, I would have to say at this point, a circular debate, this parade scenario. Again, no matter how much we huff and puff, it's official. It's no parade this year. It's a different approach. But again, we get a chance to express ourselves, and you can feel free to touch base on any other major talking point and issue. The open forum happening after 7. See you soon.
At Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chaguanas, we are committed to providing quality products for all major building projects. Let's build together with rebars and beams, BRC coils and mats, RHS and angles, roofing sheets and purlins, lumber, plywood and MDF. Bagwansing's, building homes, building communities, building TNT for over 60 years. Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chaguanas, building value every day.
Do you suffer from pain in your back, knees, or joints and need effective pain relief? Get your life back with Omega XL, a natural, safe, anti-inflammatory supplement. This small soft gel has up to 22 times more omega-3 free fatty acids than fish oil and is backed by 30 years of clinical research.
I can just tell you from my experiences, there's nothing like this Omega XL.
Live the life you deserve and get the relief you need. Get Omega XL now at your local pharmacy.
Food Basket Marketplace is celebrating our 34th anniversary for the month of August, and you're invited. Massive deals like big deal peas and carrots, big deal kidney beans, buy 3 tins, get 1 free. Port Royal oil, 900 ml, buy 3, get 1 free. Buy 12 packs of toilet paper and get a pack of napkins free. Come and shop to win in one of our 34 shopping sprees. Big giveaways and free hampers to be won. Only at Food Basket Marketplace, Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Goldfield. Food Basket, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right. Food Basket, the nation's #1 supermarket.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have Shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you gonna do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, these countertops nice, well?
It's hot, so, what do you think?
Well, this
100%.
is it. I'll take it.
Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Carney or French Street.
Welcome back. As promised, your daily health tip compliments Omega XL. It's up next.
The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth.
Ever pondered how remarkably adaptable our brain is and how diverse circumstances can reconfigure its structure and function? This process is called neuroplasticity, a symbol of our brain's resilience and adaptability. Whether it's dealing with PTSD or partaking in calming meditation, our brain can transform its makeup. Neuroplasticity is key in showing our brain's remarkable versatility. Now let's delve into how these conditions alter the brain's landscape. Emotional trauma from post-traumatic stress disorder overactivates the amygdala, impacting the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, leading to emotional reactions and memory problems. Strokes disrupt brain blood flow, impacting speech and muscle control. Alcohol use disorder affects the hippocampus, creating memory issues. Alzheimer's disease interferes with neuron communication, causing memory loss. Migraines affect brain matter due to nerve sensitivity. Brain injuries from concussions cause lasting damage. Bipolar disorder arises from neurotransmitter imbalances, causing mood swings. Multiple sclerosis scars nerves due to immune system attacks. ADHD affects attention network's function. Despite these challenges, there's hope. Activities like meditation increase gray matter, reducing inflammation. Regular exercise improves blood flow and brain cell growth, enhancing cognition. Indeed, our brain is not a static entity, one constantly changing and adapting to different conditions. While some conditions are beyond our control, we can foster brain health. Mindfulness meditation, regular physical exercise, and dietary supplements can enhance cognitive functions. They improve focus, memory, and mental stamina, providing essential nutrients for your brain. Striking a balance is key. One should not overshadow the other. Your choices significantly impact your brain health. Every choice you make can contribute to a healthier brain.
The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth.
Sincere thanks. Let's take the pause. 7 a.m. news update next.
Oil and music at the Freebird Festival.
We are heading down to the Point of Pear Golf Course on our Independence Day. We celebrate our national instrument and our icons in true style. Witness a once-in-a-lifetime joint performance by King David Rudder. Backed by the powerful Exeter Steel Orchestra, Southland Skiffle, backing Irfan Alves, and Sherwin Winchester, Ice Asher, Charlene Bailey. Also featuring Ricky Jai, Jam Melody, Trupati, Shimmy October, Mongol Patasar, Shiv Shakti dancers, Malik Tassa drummers, and all of our beloved traditional characters.
The land of oil and music.
Low energy? Heart concerns? Migraines slowing you down? It's time to take control of your health. Join Wellness Unlocked, the series that brings expert advice and real solutions for a healthier you. In our latest episode, learn how Jameson CoQ10 can help support heart health, boost energy, and even reduce migraines. Get the science, the stories, and the steps to power up your health with CoQ10. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on CNC3 and start your wellness journey today.
Eye care tips for Seaview Optical. Eat well. Good eye health starts with the food on your plate. Nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, lutein, zinc, and vitamin C and E might help ward off age-related vision problems. Quit smoking. Makes you more likely to get cataracts, damage to your optic nerve, and macular degeneration. If you have tried to kick the habit before only to start again, keep at it. Wear sunglasses. The right pair of shades will help protect your eyes from the sun's ultraviolet UV rays. Use safety eyewear. If you use hazardous or airborne materials on the job or at home, wear safety glasses or protective goggles.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Beachy with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. A Barrackpore couple has called for witness protection after their home at Komoto South Trace was burnt to the ground 2 weeks after they survived an armed home invasion. The couple, who lived with their 2 children, returned to the ruins under police escort. They were previously bound, beaten and robbed by intruders on July 29th. After that attack, they were warned that reporting to the police would cost them their lives. They have since gone into hiding. The couple is now appealing to Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander and Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara for placement in the Witness Protection Program. CSEC and CAPE results for 2025 are in, and according to the Ministry of Education, there has been an improvement in the overall pass rate. While this has been applauded, Tutors President Martin Lumpkin warns there's still much work to do, particularly in mathematics. According to data provided by the ministry, more than half of the students failed that subject.
In the mathematics area for CSEC, there was an improvement from 42% to 45%. And again, congratulations to all the players, all the stakeholders. But it still shows a worrying trend. We have to make maths more enjoyable as well, too, as far as possible. I'm not saying that our teachers are not doing that, but the use of technology and other areas, I think, can, and we think, can enhance the performance in the mathematics.
Those are your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update for you at 8 a.m. on the TBC radio network.
Have you noticed the XL products at your local pharmacy? Endorsed by cricket star Andre Russell and many more, these supplements represent the pinnacle of natural health solutions, trusted for their efficacy and purity.
Welcome back, Open Forum time. We're going to open up the lines. Again, a chance for you to express yourself. Yes, I know the debate and the conversation that's been around the cancellation of the parade. We started that up to, well, people got in since yesterday with their commentary in that regard. But again, you know, other issues happening all around. So feel free, weigh in. Even on the international scene, we saw the coming together of President Zelensky and some of the other European leaders yesterday going to the White House to meet with President Trump so that they could bring an end to what's happening there in Ukraine. I know that's far removed, but we're keeping our eyes on all stories, local, regional, and international. Let's head to Aruka. Good morning.
Good morning, JW.
Welcome, Aruka. I'm listening.
Jay, I have a problem with Miss Kamala and together with Barry. You tell the lower class, when UNC win, everybody win. But look how much CPEP workers, forest workers on the breadline right now. How are these people facing the children for school in September? Plus, some of them might be out of a home because they don't have money to pay rent.
Well, Aruka,
they facing the grocery at least.
Aruka, I mean, at least what they would have, I mean, again, I understand where you're coming from, but what they're saying, part of it is actually spot on in the regard where they want it to be sustainable and to be structured. And I think CPEP needed a greater structure. I guess the big question is, could they have kept it, or at least kept the people working while they sort out that on the back end? Because they needed some structure, let's be real. They needed some structure, and they wanted to be more sustainable, and I could agree with that. But I guess your point is people right now, you know, in real time have bills to pay, books to buy, and can't really do it.
Because what I'm watching at, when you heard it on the news, it was like, I understand they get paid the Friday, and the news was on the counter end right there.
Yeah, Ruka,
so the people had no way of saying, well, look, I'm planning what's going to happen next week. So look, I'm looking to see if I could do this or do it, but it was just on the doorstep.
Aruka, I want to thank you, man, as always.
But I feel if this hurts a lot of people, UNC have to work yourself for the next 5 years. They would not reach 26 seats. It will be lower because Trini have attitude right now. When you hurt me, don't look for my finger.
All right, Aruka, take it easy. Aruka, all the best. Aruka touching base with us this morning. We head now to St. James. Good morning, St. James.
Hey, JW. Morning, bro.
Morning, my brother. Welcome.
Hey, how you going? Good?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Always good to hear you, man. I'm listening.
Yeah, man. Nice. Watching this show here, first and foremost, last week was a great week of episodes, so I was really happy to see that and looking forward to more the same as usual. In terms of the main topic with the cancellation of the fireworks at the parade display.
What's your take on that, man? I was longing to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah. I watched the episode yesterday, just last night, the replay, and you even put forward the suggestion, I think, about the drones, whatnot.
I talking that since last year, no, St. James. I talking that since last year, the drones.
Since last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, just the fact, too, that you're saying that since last year is something to be considered. But you know, as we move forward, sure.
What I've heard, St. James, I'll just tell you this before you continue. What I've heard, because I did some investigation, they said apparently there needs to be a kind of special approval to fly drones of that nature in Port of Spain. Remember, a lot of flights coming into Port of Spain, they sometimes take that particular route over the city itself. Most of them take the outskirts from Chagaramas, and then you see the whole line off of Port of Spain when they head across Caroni Swamp back to Piaco. But I think it's a civil aviation issue, and having to get approval for drones to go up in the sky there by the savannah in the heart of the city. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, well, that's a good point you raised in there, and that's definitely something to be considered, all safety protocols and concerns. But just on the pros and cons scenario, I mean, you would know this too, anybody else might know this, the drones could be, saved and reused for future years. So that would be a big cost saving, because we know the fireworks are a bit expensive, and definitely the professional you had yesterday on the show saying that the noise would cause an issue for animals and persons, so all that should be taken into consideration. But the current government's decision to postpone it, the reason being the focus right now is on, firming up national security, so we as a country could really move forward. I totally in support of that, for us to move forward. And as I close now, we just had the professional Raja Hussein there. So, if they say they're holding off on the fireworks to have some cost savings and the focus is national security, I would definitely, like to see, the continued focus. The focus right now is focus. So, agriculture, how do we, redevelop the country's economy? Tourism, as we celebrate an independence, self-sustainability as a country.
Right. Well, St. James, I want to thank you as always, man. Respect.
All right, blessings, man. Keep up.
All the best, man. St. James, a real supporter there, the man you know, once he gets the opportunity, he will always call in to weigh in on the leading talking points. Let's head now to Santa Cruz. I think Mr. Santa Cruz is on the line. Santa Cruz, good morning.
Yeah, morning, Jay. Well, I want to hear the Prime Minister immediately, and the whole question of when she spoke about, I will bust your head. I think what she is doing is reaffirming her authority over her government ministers, in the sense that they become men of straw and not men of steel, because she also indicates to the population that I would not tolerate insubordination. Yeah, she said I would not tolerate insubordination. And as a consequence of that, she actually saying to her ministers, and she actually rewriting Rogers and Hammerstein puppets. You understand me? So that I was waiting in the UNC to see if they have men of steel or men of straw, or who would cross the Rubicon, because if I'm an organization and the leader threatens me in any way in terms of who my friends must be, then I tell myself it's time for I to walk, because you cannot choose my friends. And the other point is, you cannot, as a prime minister, threaten an industry like Carl. You're saying, if you don't make profit in 2 years, look for a next job. You're actually threatening people's livelihood, and whereby you put a board in place, and the board is what you're supposed to instill that you have to find a way in terms of how it makes profit. Yeah, but you cannot threaten workers' livelihood and believe that everything would be A-OK. And then we're talking national security with the postponement of independence. The last thing I heard is that the state of emergency, because of that, every single threat was averted. And if all the threats were averted, how come now, based on the independence, the threats come back? I believe the whole question of the postponement is because they never attended the independence during PNM time. So they're feeling shame now to attend it, so they put it off, probably to go back in some kind of retreat to examine what is the approach they need to take with the whole question of independence. But independence must understand that we must demonstrate we are an independent nation, a republic nation, and we must feel proud of it. And let us not play smart with foolishness.
Oliver Santa Cruz. Listen now to Sawa. Yes, good morning.
Good morning, JP. I'm sorry, JW.
No problem, Sawa. Go right ahead. I'm listening.
Yes. I'm talking about the tourist section.
Ooh, Sawa, what went on there? You know, you're now getting into the commentary. Let's keep it going. 62487. Sawa, still there?
I had to look for the highest paying in exchange.
Yeah, say that again, Sawa. What you were saying?
Yes. We go outside to look for the highest paying in the exchange. So therefore, if somebody is giving 7 to 1 or 8 to 1, I am going to go to the one 8 to 1. But what we have to understand is that not every tourist that comes in buys. Sometimes some of them come and they sit by me and they will complain and they say, you know, my daughter put me on a cruise and I have no money. You know? So that is one thing. Then again, too, you have the crime is another thing. Because most of the times people see because the tourists is coming in and etc., they can tackle them. Because this is why they limit where they're supposed to be going. Anything beyond the cathedral, it's a no-no.
Yeah, it's true. And, you know, so sad because, you know, there is so much history in Port-au-Spain East, but people are literally advised that, you know, you don't go beyond a certain point.
Exactly.
Crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and then again, too, you have the locals who take the U.S., to buy goods to bring in to sell to the same tourists and etc. Like, for instance, bags. You know, certain types of bags to put in coffee or anything of the sort.
Yeah.
These things are imported and then to sell back to them. Then you have 15% now put on tourists and etc. So you're definitely not making a big profit.
Wow. Someone like you're definitely part of that industry. Like, I guess you're down by the cruise ship complex. You sell products. Well, yeah, basically you sound very informative and very knowledgeable on what happens there.
Yes, I'm in it.
Yeah,
I have been in it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sawa.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
And then again, too, not everybody sells.
Yeah.
Not everything that comes, that they have down there is sell. Because, how many bags do you want to buy?
Yeah.
So it's going to be very difficult. Then again, too, you have where you have to register your company and etc. You register it and etc. The bank gives you a credit where you can even get a checkbook. But the money now is going into them, and then they come and they pay by the card.
So
it goes into them and etc. And then when you get.
Someone still there? Oh, they went. But it sounds like someone's definitely, well, they just confirmed that they're actually in that particular industry, and oh my goodness, you hear any struggles? How tough it is? I think we have Pleasantville on the line. Let's touch base with Pleasantville. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Jason, you know what I'm getting the feeling, Jason, is more and more is that this government seems to be creating problems where there's none, and only to come and say, we fixed this, we attend to this after the public get in an uproar, It seems to me, and the Prime Minister, I don't think she has addressed the nation since the state of emergency, I think, was declared. She never addressed the country and take questions. I saw yesterday where she's responding to Guardian papers questions via WhatsApp. That I find is inappropriate, Jason. And we don't know whether the state of emergency was because you scrapped CPEP and URP because of corruption.
Well, Pleasantville,
or it was.
I'll let you continue, but in all fairness, we have to recognize we're in a kind of modern time. We have seen where even President Trump and others, they actually put forward sometimes what's on their mind on social media. So I guess I think a response is still better than no response, in all honesty, Pleasantville.
Yeah, but Jason, so in the response that she's answering, she's declining to answer questions, and I see President Trump does take questions, and he does answer the people, even though he's rude at times.
Yeah, he's both of them, but he does.
She has to come and speak to the people. And all through her history, she has never sat down and taken any media interview to speak with the population. Yeah. She's lacking in that area. I don't know. I saw even yesterday the Justice Minister, Mr. Davis Maraj, he's asking a question. He's Justice Minister that is supposed to be a member of the National Security Council, and he is saying that it seems that the intelligence report from what he read in the papers, so that it was real from what he read in the papers. So something is clearly not
adding up.
Clear here.
Yeah,
it's not adding up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pleasantville, sincere thanks, man. Sincere thanks with the observation. And listen, we'll continue because this is an ongoing conversation, passionate one too, and I appreciate all the commentary. Feel free. We'll try to open up the lines again tomorrow. We take the pause. I believe our digipreneur is going to join us next. Karen Rose. That's right, checking in from Thailand, and we're dealing with foreign exchange and ways we can generate it in the digital space. Digipreneur, Karen Rose up next.
deals with PRW Back to School. Save big with laptops starting from $3,100. Sky 7-inch tablet only $465. Need a printer? We've got it starting from $625. Get a 40-inch RCA TV only $1,850. 19.5-inch LG monitor $699. Secure your home with our security combo starting from $3,000. Call PRW today 285-9779. Check us in store for keyboards, webcams, stationery, and lots more.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have Shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you gonna do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time's alive! Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, these countertops nice, well.
It's hot. So, what do you think?
Well, this
100%.
is it. I'll take it.
Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Caroni or French Street.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Welcome to ABC Doors and Windows, TNT's #1 destination for the best quality and widest variety of doors and windows. Enhance your space with our premium wooden, steel panels, fiberglass, and steel security doors, complemented by our aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows. Shop for the best quality and service at ABC Doors and Windows. Visit our impressive showroom at 1 Chancatrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to get started. Trust ABC for a better choice.
Have no fear, the digipreneur is here. Karen Rose joins us out there in the East, Thailand to be exact. Evening time on his side, morning time across here in Trinidad and Tobago, but he is always part of the conversation, and you could also catch Karen Rose with Third Base on a Friday via Freedom FM, our sister radio station. Karen, great to see you, man. How things in Thailand, bro?
Always good, man. Can't complain, can't complain. I was taking in the program. I was hearing the conversation. I said, nah, we got to switch gears today and keep this conversation going because it's a big one. It's a very big one.
It is a big one, and it's very relevant to what many Trinbagonians are experiencing, the issues with Forex, with U.S. especially, even in some regards, euros, kind of difficult to come by. But U.S., that's the business currency of the globe, and we want to find out ways we could generate that U.S. in the digital space as a digital nomad, or utilizing the tools within, again, that digital world. Walk us through it. Ways to generate foreign exchange, Karen.
Yeah, so I mean, I wanted to highlight, because we were talking about this offline, right? And I wanted to highlight this, that I don't know why anybody's surprised that the credit cards are getting slashed again and again and again with the USD limits. And I was highlighting to you off air that when I moved to Trinidad in 2014, the USD limits declined every single year from 2014. And like, even when I was talking to my mom, she's like, but we had problems with getting USD since the 80s. There was always a limit. It's just decreased over the years, right? We're not generating the USD that we need, and our consumption patterns have obviously changed over the years. We are consuming more USD than we are generating. But the conversation now needs to shift to, we cannot wait for oil and gas to start generating whatever revenues, because we don't even know if they're going to start generating the revenues that the country needs. We absolutely cannot wait on tourism. I don't know why we keep saying, we keep framing tourism like tourism is going to be a savior. The global competition for tourism right now is out of this world, right? It's out of this world, the competition. What needs to happen is we need to start taking a look at what two countries did, and I'm going to highlight these two countries, which is India and the Philippines. India's outsourcing economy, meaning that companies would hire would hire remote workers in India. You know, most times you call into a company, and you get routed to somebody speaking in India, or you get routed to somebody speaking in the Philippines, right? Well, guess what? India's outsourcing economy generated over $194 billion US, okay? They employ 5.4 million people just outsourcing the work from companies around the world. It's the same thing in the Philippines. In 2023, their economy generated over $32.5 billion US from outsourcing, again, employing over 1.8 million people. And they're doing that by being the outsourcing workforce of the entire world. We need to start looking at what India and the Philippines did, and we need to start figuring out as a country, it needs to come from the top down, what are the new global skills that companies need? And can we start to now, can we reach out to the Microsofts? Can we reach out to the Google? Can we reach out to companies so that we can learn what are the skills that they're looking for? And can we start to now outsource that work into our country? We need to start skilling up, and this is a great way to start generating USD, and that's a much easier way to do. And even if it's not the country, or even if it's not the government doing it, we ourselves can start to upskill. And Jason, we've been talking about skills for weeks, for months, for years now. Skills that we could start learning so that we can start to generate our own USD, and there are mechanisms for us to receive the USD from companies around the world and access the full amount of the USD that we generate.
Karen, but that's going to call for infrastructure. That's going to call for training via the education system, or at least programs after one is finished with formal education. And that will call also for capacity. Because you're talking about countries where, India, there are 1 billion people there, so I would imagine the economies of scale, there are people to fill these gaps. Do we have the skill set? Do we have the training? And well, more so, again, infrastructure and capacity, because that calls for that's going to require call centers and a major investment. And who's going to do it? Is it going to be private sector or public sector going to make that kind of investment, Karen Rose? What's the vision?
So there's two ways to go about this, right? There's the medium to long-term goal where the government has to do something, right? Work is getting outsourced around the world. It's getting outsourced to Asia. It's getting outsourced to Latin America, right? We need to come up with a plan. So whatever infrastructure we need, whatever the skills are that are in demand, Jason, we have to come up with a plan. There has to be a plan, and we're not hearing about a plan. But aside from the government, we also have our personal responsibility. Jason, nobody has to tell you, Jason, to go and learn generative AI, or go learn digital marketing, or go learn how to be a prompt. No one has to tell you to learn new skills. And in learning new skills, you don't have to wait for the government to announce any kind of vision. You can start to just learn a new skill. You can leverage platforms like LinkedIn to start applying for jobs around the world, right? Because since about 2019, all of my income has been digital. Since 2019, all of my income has been digital. I have never been limited to just Trinidad. So nobody had to tell me what skills to go and learn. No one had to tell me where to go and find clients. No one had to tell me to go and find jobs. At some point, we have to look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, are we going to just wait on hand and knee begging for a vision, or what can we start doing? What can we start learning and then start to go apply for jobs or get clients around the world, because we're not limited, and start generating our own USD? That way, we don't even have to go into the banks to ask for USD.
Yeah, it's true. And I guess the question is, one is able to get the clientele and build yourself and create your network. How do we actually get paid? How do we get access to this money? Because I know you would have mentioned months ago you could open a U.S. account, but that's granted. You have a visa, you're able to, travel, go to the U.S. to actually get this money out of the ATM. How are you actually going to get that money to handle your daily expenses?
Beautiful question. So we don't have to go anywhere. There's a couple of options that we can leverage right here in Trinidad, right? So first things first, you have a platform called Payoneer. Payoneer is a global payment platform that we have access to right here in Trinidad that allows us to send digital invoices to companies around the world. It also allows us that if we are working for platforms like Fiverr, freelancer.com, if we're selling on eBay, Amazon, Payoneer is a platform that connects to these platforms. It can receive the payments from anywhere in the world. It can hold up to, I think it's more than 60 currencies inside of Payoneer. But most importantly, they also allow you to get a Payoneer prepaid MasterCard that keeps all of the USD funds and you have access to everything you generate. Or you can add any bank in Trinidad and Tobago to Payoneer and it can wire the money in, right? So you have Payoneer, you also have PayPal. PayPal pretty much does the same thing. You also have platforms like WePay, right? We could use WePay and get paid from clients anywhere else in the world. The other thing, and this is where the banks and the government need to come together, right? We used to have prepaid credit cards, and those have all been wiped off the market. There needs to be a new scheme or something or a new mechanism that the banks can create a USD prepaid card, and the only way to at least put money on the card is you have to generate your money. If we have a card that once we put the money in that and it's a USD currency denomination card and we have full access to the money, you'd be surprised to see how much people start to repatriate all of their USD that they have in outside banks. You will have people start to bring that money in because we want to have our money inside of our home country. But if we can't access the USD that we give the banks, nobody is going to, they're either going to keep it below the mattress or they're going to keep it in an external facility outside of Trinidad, so that way they have access to the USD to handle their business.
Yeah, because we're speaking towards hoarding, and I believe there's lots of US, but people are not going to put it in the system, Karen. You know, you can't get it back when you want it, and even if you're getting it back, it's with restrictions, limitations. You could only get a certain amount a day. It's a mess, you know, Karen. It's a real shambles right now, you know.
Yeah, and this is why, like, when I look at the data from my articles on PayPal, Payoneer, my PayPal article generates over 30,000 views on Google search every single month since about 2019. And all that shows me is that the appetite to start generating foreign income is growing, right? People are learning how to use YouTube and generate money on those platforms. You take a look at, and I'm gonna highlight these guys. Take a look at Certified Samson, Kyle Boss, take a look at Junior Lee. You have guys that are learning how to create content, turn it into a business, and then they start traveling now because they're getting bookings from things, from events around the world. Jason, it's the same thing with you. You get booked in events around the world. It's the same thing with me. We all learn these skill sets on our own. Jason, none of us went to school for these skill sets. And yet, we're traveling the Caribbean, we're traveling diaspora, and in other cases, we're traveling the globe, getting paid globally. What is stopping the rest of the citizens from upskilling? And even if just 1%, even if 2% of the nation started to work remotely or start to freelance and generate their own income, Jason, start thinking about what that does for our economy.
Karen, I'll give you a chance to put your closing remarks in before we wrap things up officially.
If you're not generating your own USD, and if you're not willing to learn how to do that, you're always going to be subjected to whatever the restrictions and limitations of the system are. Like I said, since 2014, every year since I moved to Trinidad, the USD limit has decreased every single year. And by 2018, I already knew that the only way I'm going to have access to do what I have to do is I have to start generating my own USD. Most of my circle generates their own USD and is not even fazed by what's happening in the local market. We have the opportunity to start to upskill, start to either get jobs or start to get clients to generate our own USD, and we do have mechanisms that we can keep the USD and access it as we see fit. You need to start learning these things and being more self-proficient, because if you're waiting for the government to start making money off of oil and gas or off of tourism to rebound, you're in for a very long, hard time.
Karen Rose, as always, a sincere thanks. God's Spirit will get a chance to touch base next week, Tuesday. You stay safe out there, Karen?
Jason. Yeah, for sure. Take care.
That's right. Karen Rose, ways to generate USD, utilizing the digital world and the digital tools that are readily available. Thank you so much, Karen Rose. Up next, conversations on cancer. Dr. LeBlanc joins me for, well, again, the vaccination conversation is up as it pertains to cervical cancer. So, Dr. LeBlanc, she's up next.
My story is an altar story.
I really know my skill was terrible. And within a year time, I do that level 1, I completed. What? That was like a dream.
I altar for a long while, I'm not lying. I altar jump out, I call me challenge, it was hard, but I fight still. I started to feel nice, I started to feel sweet about myself.
Before altar, I was so nervous, never understand a lot of things. Altar is a nice place to learn. Like if any student in this program made a mistake, or the other students will turn and help out that student.
The teachers are very wonderful, which is one thing I love. The next thing I love about it, it's free.
You can't study what persons may think, the perception of person. So you have to focus on what you want.
I am enjoying every moment in altar.
Today now, I can read, I can write, I can spell, get into altar, so you can write your story.
708-1990. New promotions. Arima Door Center number 4, Cleaver Road, Arima, is having new arrivals and new prices. See new security steel doors, $1,900. A variety of door handles starting at $60. Bathroom vanity sets, $1,700. So hurry to Arima Door Center.
What should your parents use to fight inflammation?
Omega XL.
What do you think I should take, babe?
My mommy and daddy should use Omega XL to fight inflammation.
Shop Southern Food Basket anniversary specials. Russet potatoes 5 pounds for $17.95. Green cabbage $7.95 per pound. Gala apples 10 for $20. Clorox 1 gallon $26.95. Snuggle bathroom tissue 12 pack $19.95. Bright wash laundry detergent 900 grams 2 for $19.95. With every $300 you spend at any Southern Food Basket, you can qualify to win a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara. Much more prizes to be won, including Caribbean getaways, staycations, and shopping sprees.
My own personal motto is to show citizens of this country that our stories can be told in a professional and international standard. I want to show them that the journalism they consume on cable TV can also exist here. Each day, that's my focus, that's my drive, to show the stories of our communities, of our people, matter just as much as anywhere else in the world. That's why we are where you are.
So happy to have Dr. LeBlanc back with me on set. We would have had some really vigorous conversations with her colleagues over the last probably 2 to 3 weeks, but we are back on this particular drive where, the correlation between the vaccination and cervical cancer. I know we started that conversation last year, and we want to continue because it's a very important one, and you would have mentioned, if I recall from the information given, that even the young ladies, there's some serious consideration with parents taking their daughters, very early to treat with this. So, Dr. LeBlanc, great to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good to be here. Good to be here, JW.
Good to have you. How young is young? What's a good age to get this conversation going, or at least go for the vaccine?
Yeah, so it's so serendipitous that you asked that, because this weekend we had the Trinidad and Tobago Medical Association North Branch had a women's conference from puberty to postmenopausal, and we were definitely stressing or empowering our colleagues to understand the importance of us keeping those conversations alive with our younger generations. That means the younger girls. And it's not that we're talking about sex with them, but you're making them aware of their body, of their reproductive system, of how their periods function, of what is important when it comes to sexual and reproductive health, all age appropriate, right? And so really and truly, because we see that HPV is a risk factor for cervical cancer, and granted, there are a lot of persons that may clear an infection of HPV, but there are those few who may not clear it, and therefore it's a bigger risk factor in them for cervical cancer. So the studies have shown that if we vaccinate both boys and girls from the age of 9 to 14, then we give them coverage, so to speak, in terms of helping them to prevent the appearance of cervical cancer and also in the boys, anal cancer, just in case. So, but it's important because not only that, because if we vaccinate the boys, then because HPV is a sexually transmitted disease, so if we vaccinate both boys and girls, there's less chance of the transmission and the infection. Now that allows us to then, dare I say, reduce the prevalence and the incidence, which means the appearance of cervical cancer in our populations.
But you know, what you're talking about comes with a level of, well, firstly, information, and that's why we have these conversations, but also deep maturity, because I can only imagine, you know, a parent taking especially a young girl at such a tender age, having this kind of conversation, and I guess some probably not even wanting to know, some people even talk reproductive health, furthermore to even talk about a vaccine for cervical cancer.
But that's the thing, we need that cultural mind shift, because if we do that, then we are empowering our younger generations to become healthier adults. You understand? And understanding the fact that, as I tell people, babies long ago when I was studying medicine, babies used to come out of the uterus and they had their head down and you used to do all what you do and their head wasn't raising straight for how much months or weeks, right? Now they're walking out the uterus with an iPad in their hand. So the reality is that there's evolution. And with that evolution and information, we have to recognize that our human beings and our humanity has changed and is continuing to change. If we know, and through science and research, we're seeing that if we do certain things, we can prevent cervical cancer, we can save lives. And this is us in keeping with WHO PAHO's NCD goals when it comes to cancer. By 2030, we want to reduce a lot of the NCD incidents in the Caribbean and the world. So therefore, JW, we have to really encourage and empower our fathers and our mothers, our grandmothers, our tanties, our uncles, to have age-appropriate conversations.
Yeah, we need to step up.
You understand? So it's not about talking to them about
the birds and the bees.
It's not only the birds and the bees. It's about empowerment of what your sexuality is, but age appropriate.
Yeah, well
you understand?
Said.
Very important.
Yeah, we need that information and of course maturity and, as you said, a mind shift. Let me ask, is there a correlation between promiscuity and cervical cancer?
Yes. So the risk factors of cervical cancer include promiscuity because of the spread of HPV. And
so
also,
that's multiple partners at the same time?
Exactly. And also you have because, you know, well, I'm very plain spoken, so I'm just going to say it just like this. Sex is trauma. However you look at it, as enjoyable as it is, there's trauma.
On the body and on the body. And the organs.
Well, the mind is just really the cervix. So, because your cervix is exposed. So therefore, think of this way. Remember long ago you used to walk barefoot? And when you walk barefoot all over the place, like if you were a cane cutter and you're walking barefoot, your foot will get harder. Your foot bottom will get harder and thicker because your body's going to protect itself, right? So all our cells in our bodies and our surfaces, if they're being constantly traumatized, right? Now, it's not that sex is a big trauma, but I just want you to picture that.
Yeah.
Then the cells may change. And if the cells of the cervix change, that means a difference in what we call the transformation zone, and that is where the risk is, because we see the changes of the cells. So this is the importance of not only HPV education, vaccination, and sexual education, but also pap smears when appropriate. You understand? Because the pap smear, if we take the sample, we're taking the sample of the transformation zone, and then we see. So that is so promiscuity comes from it's different places where it's a risk factor for cervical cancer.
And I would imagine the vaccine offers a layer of protection.
It offers a layer of protection in terms of prevention. So it's one of the big risk factors that we're preventing. But I want you to note that it's not that everybody, so it's a very small percentage of women and young girls that may not be able to clear the strains that are associated with cervical cancer, which is HPV 16 and 18. So, but at the end of the day, what they have found found, and this is something that we look at when it comes to health economics. So socioeconomic status of the population. So when the lower the socioeconomic status, they're noting that it's better to vaccinate those young girls.
Is it a one shot? And if so, like what? Walk me through the routine in terms of the shot itself.
Right. So the shot, it's two. Two shots. Yeah.
And what's the?
No, it's two. It's 3 shots.
3. And what's the distance? What's the spread between them?
They do it. It's every. Gosh, here were you asking me? Yes. No, I know this. I know this. I know this. No, you like that? No, it's every month, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
And so we do the 3. But the reality is that have that discussion with your private care physician or your primary care physician, your GP, but it's available in the public sector for free.
Okay.
It's available in the public sector for free.
Yeah.
So if you do your research, you have that conversation with your GP, you understand what the consequences or the ramifications are, and you make that decision, and it's not you saying to your child, go and have sex. It's you saying to your child, this is what I'm thinking of, can we do protection?
Yeah. That's what we...
And that is the age. We're seeing that if we vaccinate at an earlier age, that it helps better.
And again, that's where the maturity and the realness comes in. It's a different time, and we have to accept.
It's not an easy conversation to have, but it's one that must be had. And they're seeing it on TikTok, on social media. They're seeing it all over. Yeah. So they, if you have that relationship with your children, then they should be able to come to you and say, what about? And should I do this?
Dr. LeBlanc, as always, a sincere thanks.
Boy,
yeah, it's good to see you. Great to have you back.
Yes. I'm supposed to be back next week, I think.
Yeah, well, of course. You're always welcome, right? And I mean, once you can make, I know you send your colleagues, and they're always on point. Dr. Basdio, we had Dr. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Dr. Who was it, Oliveri or Rampasad?
Rampasad. That's the man right there.
Yeah, Fidel.
Yeah,
but
really,
the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society is here. We're your national voice against cancer. We want to remind you about lifestyle modification, understanding that cancer is one of the NCDs. It's a lifestyle disease as well. So we have to be proactive, be empowered, know when screening is applicable to you. Reach out to us if you have any questions. We are here. We don't only do screening, diagnosis, we do counseling as well to family members as well as patients. We have Vitas House Hospice, which is our end-of-life care arm. So we're here to support the country, and most importantly, JW, we are the advocates. So we're the ones that are going to help push and try and get proper policy effected so that we do survive this horrible disease called cancer and all other NCDs.
Dr. LeBlanc touching base with us for another impactful conversation on cancer. We will wrap things up in that regard for this week. We look forward to next week's discussion. But up next, it's your back to school drive, Charity TT. Let's help home. We get details from Timothy Superville, founder and director of Charity TT.
Great deals with PRW Back to School. Save big with laptops starting from $3,100. Sky 7-inch tablet only $465. Need a printer? We've got it starting from $625. Get a 40-inch RCA TV only $1,850. 19.5-inch LG monitor $699. Secure your home with our security combo starting from $3,000. Call PRW today 285-9779. Check us in store for keyboards, webcams, stationery, and lots more.
Need to upgrade to a better phone system? Contact the experts at Voice Outsourcing. In office or remote, our phone system allows you to take every call. Grow your bottom line by offering excellent customer service. Call 217-1895 or 628-8182 or email today.
Saturday, August 30th, that's a date I want you to remember. And for those of you in the West or close by to the Diego Martin Community Center, that's the location for this back-to-school drive. I must say congratulations and kudos to a young man who is clearly progressive, you know, not only talking the talk, but walking the walk in real time as he tries to, via his organization, bring that much-needed ease to parents going through it at this point in time so that the students could be fully equipped when the school year reopens. Timothy Superville, founder and director of Charity TT, joins me. Timothy, let me just say congrats in advance, bro. Great initiative.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for having me.
Of course. We always create a space for this kind of conversation. Now, I know you are obviously the face, you are the man behind it, but I'm sure there are team members. Who else makes up the Charity TT team?
Right, so we do have a board, right? My wife, which is the founder as well.
Nice.
And to her, I just want to say happy anniversary. We're celebrating our 3 years anniversary tomorrow.
Oh, congrats, man.
Good, so still I love her, you know. And we have a secretary and a treasurer.
That's right.
So as things progress, we'll begin to add more persons to the team.
So this is a non-profit, the Charity TT team.
Correct.
Fantastic. So the back-to-school drive, I recognize you all dealing with at least you have a venue in Diego Martin, but I'm seeing also there is a connection in Tobago. Let's treat with the Tobago connection first before we go to Diego Martin.
Sure. Well, the name of our organization is Charity TT, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And it was very important to include Tobago in our initiative. You know, many of times you would have heard Tobagoanians saying, you know, we feel left out.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have that inclusion, right? So we would have partnered with 16 schools throughout Trinidad and Tobago, in which 2 schools were selected from Tobago as well. And we do have a representative, Miss Anisha Webb, who would be dealing with this stuff for them.
Fantastic. And as it pertains to the Trinidad side of it, Saturday 30th, Diego Martin Community Center. Why that location? Are you all from Diego? You all from the West?
Yes. Well, I grew up in Powder Magazine, Phase 1.
All right, nice.
And my wife
Cookeried, man.
Cookeried, correct. Yes. You know, all my Cookeried family, love you all. My wife is from Patna as well.
Okay, it's nice.
Right, so what we wanted to do is to give home, hence our slogan, let's help home.
Yes.
You know, because we want to really reach the persons in Trinidad and Tobago who really need the help.
So let me ask, for those looking on and they want to be part of it, is it that they come, they give financial donation, or they actually bring books? And the question is, how do they know which book to bring if they don't probably have access to a book list? So walk me through the logistics.
Sure. Well, at the moment, because of funding, we could only do stationary items, right?
Also stationary, okay.
Stationary, so notebooks, copybooks, pens, pencils, that kind of stuff, right?
Nice, okay.
So what we done as well in the partnering with the 16 schools, we would have asked their parents to send the book list. So we would get to see the items, right? Even on our website, when you see on the event, there is a link where you could see the actual items that if you wish to buy the items, you can go ahead and do that.
Fantastic.
Or you could reach out to us because we have a bank account that they could send the information and so forth.
How are they going to find you online so at least they could get access, put their eyes on the book list?
Sure. Well, on our website, www.charitytt.org, where you could find all of the information.
Fantastic.
We are also on social media as well, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Let me tell you, man, this is such a great initiative. Yourself and the wife are coming together. How long now? I mean, I know you all are married next 2 days for 3 years, but in terms of how long you all started this?
Well, I will tell you this, Jason. This is really a divine led by God, right? You know, this year, I remember 3 years ago, I had in a notebook, Charity TT, just left it there. And this year, it's had to feel the pull of God to do something.
To make it happen.
To make it happen. And it's only in April, the 30th of April, where it was actually registered. And so the plan was to do a food drive in Christmas. But when we look at the amount of persons who would have lost their job, you know, we looked at what is the most mediate help that they would need.
Yeah.
Hence, we started with the book drive.
Let me get some again, I just want to say kudos. Great work. We'll always create space for this kind of conversation. I see you're there with
yes,
bag
yes.
in hand. What's going on here?
Well, I have a special, we can't talk about charity and I ain't come and give you nothing, right?
All right, man. You come bearing gifts?
Yeah, bearing gifts.
Nice.
A charity,
thank you.
jersey for you.
Thank you, my friend.
So hope in the future you'll be a part of us, whether you come and you give us support, whether on social media.
No, full support, bro. Trust me. Trust me.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. I have my charity TT t-shirt, man. I love it. Yes. And again, all the information there on screen. I'm seeing a number 317-1212.
Correct.
And of course, you have the email. Look, all the information on screen. Reach out to Timothy. Reach out to the team. Again, congrats to you and the wifey.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and keep up the great work, buddy.
Thank you, my brother.
Timothy. Respect.
Thank you.
We take the pause. We come back to officially pull the curtains down. Timothy will stay on set with me as we say goodbye in a couple minutes. See you soon.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Whether you're an athlete, a business professional, or simply someone who values their health, Omega XL can empower you to keep doing what you love. Don't let joint discomfort hold you back.
Live long, stay strong with the XL brand.
Muscle Russell.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Still hanging out here with Timothy Superville from Charity TT. He's here with me as we go up till 8 o'clock. Before I go to a story that I forgot to mention this morning, I know, Tim, you wanted to make mention of businesses. You want them to get involved?
Yes. So, Morning Nation, this is a plea to give us all the support that you can. We're asking for businesses, groceries, anyone who could help support this cause, because going forward, as I say, we want to be able to provide a meal and so forth, right? So help us to spread this message of love and also this message of Christ, because he is love.
Indeed, Charity TT doing great work there. I saw a story on page 9. I didn't mention it. There was apparently some kind of fire disturbance, and then the sprinkler system, went into effect, which is a good look. But what did they consider? The files, paper, FUL files, HR files in the police administration building, it's all damaged because of the water. Again, water damage, that's a serious one. And this particular issue, again, on page 9, I think the commissioner will have to go in and really do his due diligence. But it's one of major concern, and it's frustration for those who would have had their FUL files, their paperwork inside. Granted, some of it is digitized. The reality is things like your copies of your ID and certain requirements, but paper, I guess, like the paperwork, damaged. That story, it's on page 9 as we look to wrap things up on this Tuesday morning. Today, Tuesday, the 19th of August, 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for all the conversation, the commentary, the debate. We love it. We keep the conversation going tomorrow. God spare. I'll be back for more. Until then, be safe, TNT.
brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong.